We're here in the Parkhouse Hotel on the 20th of January 2017. We're here with the 1992 Sean Connolly Cup winning team on their 25th anniversary. We have almost all of them here. I think they're nearly all here. So we're going to chat. They're full of chat before the camera rolls, so hopefully they'll be chatting again. So we'll start now. We have a first man here, Seamus Duffy, beside us. Seamus, you were centre half back, I believe, on the final that day. You didn't play all the championship centre half back. How was it you came to play that day?
Well, Damien got injured the week before. I think Seamus Gill set it up for me, then he threw a stone on the pitch. And Damien got injured, and lo and behold, I got in. But it was the first day actually I played centre half back. You know, but it's good to be back here tonight with people you grew up with, you know. And I think when you grow up with people and play with people, they're the people you remember throughout life, you know. And there's people here tonight that I just like to mention. In particular, Jackie Devine, who started us off as young lads, training us back in the day. You know, every Saturday he was out there, and we won nothing underage. We loved playing, Jackie trained us, but we didn't win. And it's only when we got to senior level, and Seamus Smith, Lord have mercy on him, was on board. John Smith, who's not here tonight, Pat Hughes, Michael McCormack, they brought us together. And when we got to senior level, we met people like Mickey O'Hara, Jerry Lynn, and we combined then as a good team. And we were lucky in 91, and 92 our year came on board, and that's when we got success. But fortunately for the club, they haven't won since, but hopefully if they keep plugging away, their time will come again. And it's great to be back tonight and see everybody's here, all healthy and alive, and I wish everybody all the best in the future, and a good night tonight.
Thanks very much. Straight away we go to the chairman at the time, Tom McLaughlin. Tom, give us a brief memory of what it was at the time.
Well, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic day. I remember walking up the sideline when we were sure we were going to win. We were in the ascendancy at that stage, and at that time I think there was a coalition government formed, and it wasn't going so well. And I says, these coalitions never work because Conley's and half the Cullen Kilpair for play together. And I says, we're have them now, lads. These coalitions don't work, and we saw them down from there and won it.
Fair play, Tom. Cornerback, Colin McGarr. I was looking at a video clip there. You took Andy Smith out of it.
Oh, black card.
You fairly levelled him, Colin.
Seamus Duffy paid Seamus Gill to throw the stone for Damien Barney. He paid me to hit Barney Smith.
Barney, was it? Yeah. Fair, Tom.
Yeah, he ran into me. I was standing
Great memories, Colin.
Great times, and he didn't go on for longer, but sure, you have to get old sometime.
Mark, you're one of the younger players at the time.
Very much, Jimmy.
How did you get on in the day?
Okay.
Have to go 10, Mark.
I think so, Marty. Yeah.
Tell it everyone you're right.
Don't always aim.
It was a big thing, Mark. You probably thought you were going to go on and win several championships, I'd imagine, at the time.
Yeah, when you look back, it's great to have won it, but in my head it should have been at least the middle one of three at that time. We blew up in 91 and we came back strong, and in 93 we lost the semi-final. I don't know, we didn't score in the first half. I had no idea.
You got a point that day in the first half. And
you're exactly right, Jackie. Paddy Norris disallowed it for a square ball, and I punched it on the 14-yard line. You're right, Jackie.
It was Drumrish umpires. It was Benny Led.
Oh, was it? We should have, in my opinion, won at least two. If we'd have won in 91, we might have been a tad low.
It would have been justice for the team.
Yeah, I think so.
Mick Doyle, you were there, cornerback. You're one of the elder statesmen at the time. It says Pat Hughes loaded the bag with old men. Is that a fact?
Thanks, Jerry.
That's right. Tom McLaughlin said it all. The day we were playing Connolly's was Connolly's Colin Peake played. But when Colin McGarr hit Barney Smith, we only played the Connolly's because there's 3 Smiths from Connolly. Because I was Mark O'Malley. I've nothing to worry about after that.
We're all out of sympathy, aren't we?
That's my best memory, that Colin McGarr hitting Barney Smith. That's my best memory of that.
A good memory. Tommy, you were in the goals. Pressure situation in the goals, always pressuring a goalie.
I think I must have been on the old list.
Very
tired now.
You were county goalie at the time, were you, Tommy?
No, it's gone.
You were finished in the county, yeah.
4 years.
Had you won in 85 as well, Tommy?
Yeah.
So you have 2 championship medals.
Yeah.
You're hoping your sons will
I
probably...
should have nearly got 3. I was only 16 in '74, but I was too young.
Right, okay. Pádraig Connell here in front. Pádraig, you were on the hurling the football under 21 senior. You won 4 medals that year. Great year for you.
Yeah, it was a brilliant year. Yeah, but I suppose the highlight of the year was, the senior championship. And today we were looking back on the years, we're looking back on our career, and as Mark said, we all thought we were going to win 5-6 championships in a row, and we only ended up winning the one. But I mean, for me, looking back at the lads in this room, the lads you played football with, and then when you're on a football field, you learn about yourself and you learn about the lad beside you. And I remember the days playing underage football with these lads, like Damien Doherty. I used to look at Damien Doherty as a king. He was a king. He was a champion. You know what I mean? You step on a field with him, he was a hero to me. No, but then I played. Then I stepped up. Bernard was my own brother. He's older than me. We started playing football. We're playing with him, and we're stepping on the field with like Bernard, Jerry Lane, and then the great fucking Mickey O'Hara. The greatest man ever to fucking play a pair of football. You're playing football. I remember playing ball. 18 years old, stepping on the field with Mickey O'Hara. And getting into a little bit of conflict, and Mickey be the first lad out there with the fist, and he'd be baiting and stand up for you. You know what I mean? You learn who your friends are. You learn about the lads you're playing with. You learn about yourself. And all of these lads here were men ready to play football, ready to go into battle with you. And together, and we won the championship together, battling together. And
that man you're talking about, Mickey O'Hara, he's right there behind you there, Mickey.
The legend.
You're a modest man, I suppose.
You're funny, Dad.
But you had won in '85, Mickey. Your second championship medal. You had lost a lot of finals. Talk to us about...
For the younger lads coming in, there was maybe 7 final. And if we lost that one, it was going to be lose 6. So it wasn't new to me, It was another county final. The younger lads wouldn't understand, but we were at the stage where we were nearly getting sick of fucking getting the county finals and getting bad. Because we were in them every, 7 out of 10 years. But I think the new blood helped us, younger lads. There wasn't too many of the old team. Myself, Jerry, Tommy, Colin, Joe, Christy.
And I must go through there then.
All in the back!
Tony.
Yeah,
he wasn't. Yeah.
He was only there for a couple.
The younger lads helped us a lot. They had a bit of extra.
There was a good blend.
I was 32. I wasn't expecting to win 5 more either. Maybe Pádraig.
Jackie, you were there. You were in the management team. Yourself and John and Pat. Talk to us about the group of lads you had.
In my opinion, this was the best team ever to represent the club. We're very committed, very dedicated, and we had the genius here, Mickey. He was one of the best, probably the best player ever to represent Master.
Yeah.
We picked the team on the Saturday night, and myself and John and Pat were, I think it was in here, we came after the team was picked, and we might have selected it here. Christy Kennedy was very anxious to know was he on the team, because he was kind of injured and beforehand. And so John said we better tell Christy that he's on the team.
Like turn up.
He was waiting for us outside.
The pigeon was out.
So we told him, you're on the team tomorrow. Jesse said, I'll cut shite out of him.
And right behind you there, Jackie, is Donald Connell, who I suppose was unfortunate that Christy came in the door.
I'm only after finding that out.
25 years there!
They might have known that's all they had to do was ask Jackie. I'd be up beside you all the time. I couldn't have given up my place to a better man. It was great. And
was unfortunate as well because everything Pádraig said, I was about to say.
I was reading your notes in the car.
But Donald, it's important to say that you played all 5 games up until the championship final and you were unlucky that day.
I did, yeah. But look, it was a panel. There was 22 or 3 players played that year. Niall and Ernie was in the same. Niall had played all the games as well up to the final, I think.
So Niall, you were another unfortunate who got the chop the night before. But talk to us about your memories, Niall. When did you come to Monstrum to play?
That was my first year with Monstrum.
Was it that you transferred over then? Yeah.
The big thing I remember was it seemed so easy to win it. I thought there was going to be loads more as well.
And where were you before, Niall? What club?
I was with Young Graphics.
Yeah. And were you working nothing?
No, I was living up in Miss McCaffrey. So.
It was illegal, by the way.
Better not, John.
Get back to net.
But good friends made, Niall, I'm sure.
That's great. Yeah. That's why I'm here tonight.
Fair play. Pat, we spoke to you earlier again. You know, you were there from '89, management team, yourself, John and Jackie. You know, you had big decisions to make, and it wasn't easy, but you had to make them.
It was always difficult leaving people off, you know, because we had such a good panel, but still you could only play 15, you know. It was always difficult players. And then we were missing a few through injury, and I listened to Colin there saying that Smith ran into him. An awful lot of players used to run into 50 Kennedy, or was it the other way around? But it was a big help, because he definitely, as Jackie said, he threw his weight around, and that's what he was good at. But it was a great panel of players, very, very good. Jackie, I think, summed it up. Overall, dedicated and tried hard. It was great to be with him.
Had you won as a player, Pat?
I won in 85.
Right, you weren't on 74, no?
No, unfortunately I had transferred out in 74, under pressure in London
Right.
at the time. But we were beaten in the first round of the championship. And Mel Hughes' brother was injured that day, and at the time he could transfer, so he transferred back to Edgerton. He was lucky.
So suppose yourself and John Smith would have won as players with Edgerton, would have lost as managers, and would have won as managers and lost as players. So is that unique?
John Smith, yeah. I remember playing county minor with John. I think that's Dublin in Cusick Park. John was playing, and I was on the sub. We go back
a long way, and hopefully long more. Behind you, Joe McEnroe, don't be hiding, Joe. You were full back that year, Joe. A very important position, and I suppose you would have taken over from John Smith as full back. Would that be right?
I suppose, in a way. Well, really, on the day, I was just admiring Colin McGarry and Neil Guy knocking down the sticks. My job was easy after that. But going back, like John Smith, Jackie Dwayne, and Pat Reeves, they were our inspiration. Like, I looked at them guys when I was younger. I was lost when I seen John Smith and guys like that, and I thought, look, I'd never be able to play an extra team. That was my driving force. I thought I'd never make that, and I drove on from there. And just what the young guys out there is the same. But great bunch of guys we played with. I made a lot of good friends down the years. I reckon I was just lucky. I always considered myself lucky to be part of a good team. Really good team. Loads of good footballers, good guys around me. And all I had to do was get fit and keep the clean. Stop smoking. Stop smoking.
What about Trulish?
What was that?
Remember Trulish?
Go on, Mickey.
He's in the league.
In the league?
Yeah. The league, and I think Colin McGarry was back then.
I thought it was 4 goals anyway.
That was the turning point of our
You were
team.
bullying young McQuaid, Mickey.
David scored 5 goals.
No, we experimented with the full back.
We decided to switch to full back, I think we did. That was the switch was made.
Brendan there beside you.
Both is prospered in your youth positions.
Brendan, you're one of the men that turned 50 recently, so you're halfway. You were 25 years without a championship, then you had, but now you're another 25 years on. You were moved to centre forward that day, you started centre forward. It was a big decision for management, I think it worked out, Brendan.
Lucky, Seamus went in centre half from centre forward. I didn't think I'd play at all because we were semi-final of second half of the first years ago. So I just looking to play, that's right up.
Talk us through that cheeky goal you chipped Connolly's keeper there. Who gave you the ball in?
Lucky pass.
You were doing it all your life,
Yeah, you were lucky to get a pass. He was actually going for a score. So he made it easy. He was 20 yards off his leg.
It was a lovely goal. And it's what I was watching Barney Rock scored in the 83 final, I think it was, with Brian Mullins up there. He chipped. Isn't that right?
Three final, yeah.
Jerry, you were captain on the day. Still the third captain and still the third captain to lift Connolly Cup.
Yeah, no,
A big moment for you.
Look, it was a great time. It was a great time to be involved with Edgerton. Like it's, you look at, say I'm looking at Killian now. Maybe he hasn't got the same team around, or they're not getting the same break. You have Brian Farrell now standing up. Like we were just lucky, like what Joe says. There's a lot of good players. We've been around since, like, I came on first in '84, and I think same with Mickey, 6 or 7 finals. You know, and we were so close a few times. Like '88, we had a serious team on the pitch. I don't know how we threw that one away. Like we were there, and we just the biggest letdown was probably not having more out of it. You know, '93 we should have nailed that one. Very disappointing. You look back and you say, you know, that was the time to really put your name on it. You know, and not to score in the first half and then still just get pipped at the end. That was a big letdown. But like myself and Rim was just talking about the meal. They're the best times when you're out on the field. Like nothing compares to competing and playing. You know, like it's GA, it's in your blood. Like I definitely agree with Brian Mullins. Throughout Ireland, the GA is the most important thing in every parish in Ireland. It's the one thing together. It's a focal point for everything. The facilities that's there and organised by people, all amateur. And it's huge, like, and you get the knockers out there and stuff like that, but we keep plugging away. They were good times, they were really good times. You know, I just hope that the present bunch maybe gets a crack at that. You know, and it's not that they're not putting in the effort, they're putting in the same effort, they're training hard and everything like that. Just little things. Like we talked, not to keep going on, but like we were beaten in a league match by Ballymahan that year, over in Ballymahan. You know, like, it's not that we were outstanding, we were in Division 2, but whatever clicked at some stage, it clicked, and we plugged and we battled, and we got a reward, but you'd just love to see it happening again. I would love to see it happening again.
Well, the man beside you there, Raymond Huzzy, you're one of the very younger lads on the team. What age were you, 18, I suppose?
I was the baby, yeah.
You were the baby there, you came on in a good many games. But just to talk, Ray, about what Jerry's talking about and the development, you're very much involved, if we can talk about that, the development of football in Edgerstown now. Yeah. You're there at the heart of that. Tell us what's happening in Edgerstown, if you don't mind.
I suppose, one, we have the numbers starting to come back out. We run from the kindergarten, which we run during the winter up in which we have the community centre above, so we have the facilities where we train them inside, and then when weather gets good or at the weekend we bring them out to the pitch then, and from 6 to 8 to 10 you could have up to 60 kids maybe on a Sunday morning. You know yourself with the hurling is much the same. We have some of the club members from different clubs coming in to play the hurling in Wolf Town as well, so we're just blessed with the numbers. I've spoken to a few of the managers underage the last couple of years, and they've agreed that you could have 10 good footballers as under 12, but how many of them will be playing minor? You might have half of them, so you're back to 6. But if you have 30 kids playing at under 12 and half of them be back, you still have a team. So it's numbers is the key at the start.
So the future is bright. Do you want any memories of the 92 game, if you have any there that you want to share?
No, well I played nearly the whole of 91 actually, the year before, because Jerry and Jack got into it, did they? Or yeah, I come on for either one of them. Yeah, 92 was hard because my position was midfield, and you had Seamus Duffy sort of a midfielder. Jerry tried his hand in midfield, and then you had Christy and Bernie playing well. So it was just hard getting into the team. But of course, we were lucky, like Porrick and Mark and Jack and Philip Donoghue. We'd also won 221 13-a-side titles under John Smith and Jackie. Like that was the key. Like you looked up to your manager, John Smith, and we were dead and buried, as the boys will tell you. Maybe in round 2 and 3 in both under 21 championships against Cologne and against Cashel, coming back from 12 and 13 points down, and only John Smith believed us, nobody else, and that was the key on.
And one of the men that was involved was there beside you. You mentioned Philip Donoghue there. Philip, you were on that under 21 side. You were also on the senior side. You were a flash Harry there. You were a bit of on the field, you had extra bit of pace. You know?
You're beautiful, fella.
Still are beautiful. But we're running commentary as he goes,
What I remember of that 92 team was the fantastic effort that John Smith put into us and the hard sessions that we had. I remember meeting Damien Doherty in a session that I wasn't able to go to, and I met him I think it was the following day, and he says, God of Almighty, he says, John Smith really ran the guts out of us last night, and I was actually dreading going to the next training session. But John did roll us hard, and we had great respect for John, and he's not here tonight, and wish him a speedy recovery. John was a fantastic leader that time, and I remember that I was extremely lucky to be a part of that 92 winning team. As Raymond said, the competition for places was very, very tough. Raymond was unlucky insofar as that, as he said, the centre field positions he was going for was not vying for them. But the same for myself, I got a break in the final there and got started. And I was absolutely delighted, obviously, to be playing that day, and delighted to come out with a win. Like what Mark said, we thought there was going to be a few more, but alas to say there wasn't. And that was tough to take at the time. As Jerry said, the following year we went out against Galloway and desperate first half against Galloway. Galloway went on, I think actually went on to win it. Yeah. And looking back, I suppose at the time, would have thought maybe 1994 would come again, but it didn't happen. But the memories of 1992, I suppose looking back now, they're cherished because it's been 25 years since that happened. We haven't had one since, so I feel quite privileged to have got a championship with Mostram. And looking around the room here tonight at the lads, it's great to see all the guys. Some of them haven't changed at all. Some of us got a little bit rounder.
Well, the lad beside you, the lad beside you, Tony Garvey beside you there.
I guess Bruce Springsteen.
Or Shaky Stevens. But Tony, we would have been looking at you, one of the older lads on the 92 team. You're playing still, but what do you think it was a great time for the club, and you're so much involved with the club still, Tony. You were chairman for 6 years. It's a great club, isn't it, Tony?
It's a fantastic club. It's been, I thought when I stopped playing and came in as chairman, and I said to myself, just wonder what this is going to be like, but I really have enjoyed it as being chairman. It might seem hard, but you have to enjoy it, or you don't do it at first. But really enjoyed it. But really stood out for me in '92 as well. We went on and we won the Leader Cup. We had 2 cups in town that year. We had Sean Connolly won the Leader Cup, which was brilliant. It was a huge achievement to have. It's not easily done. So that really stood out for me in '92 as well. And it was brilliant to win. The last one we played, we won it too. So that meant a lot. Even though we lost a few, we went on a positive note. We finished on a high, and that's the way I look back.
Beside you there's Mark McNamara, never changed a bit, Mark. But one of the most skillful hurlers and footballers I think that we ever got into the club. When did you come to Edgerton? You have to say what you think, Mark. When did you come to Edgerton, Mark? You weren't born and raised there, were you?
No, I was played with St Vincent's actually, same as Brian Mullins for until I was 13. No, and just on that, Mickey said there, we lost I think in 88, 89 and 91. And I think I joined the senior team in '87. So, a bit like Mickey, I wasn't so sure we were going to win 3 or 4 more after school. And I didn't play anything because my exam started on the Monday at 9 o'clock, so I wasn't able to play on the day. But as Tony said, we went down and won a league, and I think we played a very wet day down in Slashers to win that league final, and a very sloppy, hard match, and we won that as well. And I think that's the sort of games. I actually remember the league final more so than I remember the championship matches, because I remember that being a particularly hard game. And when you come through the hard games, the rest seems a bit of a cinch. So I remember that game. I remember the team here at that time. I thought we were going to win lots of leagues and lots of championships, but you always had that doubt that we lost a few, and that can happen. That's sport. That's the way it goes. But I was just happy we won one. Thank God.
It's great to have you, Mark. And I suppose from your point of view with the GAA, it's an amateur, so you have to concentrate in career as well.
Yeah, well, that was just the way, unfortunately, the way it fell. I think some of the the replays had that effect that knocked us out a couple of weeks, and that was just way
It also affected the man next to you because career-wise, with Chrissy, he was a little bit late for the final, but it wasn't exams he had. I think it was making the cows. I think was the problem there. But, you know, Chrissy, you were one of the senior men there, and you got the late call up. The lads talked about making a decision on the Saturday night. You think the text you or the tweeted you or something. Were you surprised that when did you get word that you were in? It was probably 5 minutes after the game started.
Actually, it was really this fella had exams that they were doing. They let me give me a chance to get back in again. And then in the build up to the final, that freaky shacks with Damien Doherty there getting injured. The management had to rejig the team a good bit. So they wouldn't allow myself and Bernie a midfield.
But you would have lost county finals as well, Chris.
Yeah, I lost a fair few. I played in 7 and 1 2.
Yeah, so
no record would have been great.
Great to play in the 9 finals, so you know.
Well, winning those two, there was great satisfaction winning those 2 championships. But having said that, Damien losing out and Mark losing out and playing in that county final in '82, I got more satisfaction over it when we done the double. Because Mark here and Damien got the chance to play in those finals.
Yeah, which is hard. Everybody gets a chance. We have another member of the, we'll say the executive there with his Donald Trump tie on. Brenda Green.
No comment.
You were secretary at the time.
You haven't got the hair though.
It's very important to have a good committee behind a good club, so your position at the time as secretary was an important job. Brenda, what do you remember from that day or that year?
I don't remember the week after.
A good time was had.
A lot of time spent in Johnny Lynn's. No, it was a great time. Like, as I used to always say, I never played football, but I always loved the game of football. And I'd always encourage every young lad to do what I couldn't do, was kick the ball. Didn't matter whether they could win a game or kick a ball. You know, they were a great bunch of lads, every one of them. And it was, you know, I was 13 years between secretary and treasurer of the club. And I enjoyed every day that I was involved in, you know.
But it's very important to have that, Brendan, as well. Apart from the footballers, you need that as well.
Yeah, but like, it's up to the players at the end of the day. It's their night, not a secretary or a treasurer. Or, it's the players, the lads that win a medal on the field. That's what it's about. Not, you know, you have a backroom team like John Smith, Jackie Devine, and Pat Hughes there. They were the lads that won a championship with the lads that was on the field and the subs. You know,
and one of the subs beside you there, Seamus Gilly, was sub goalie. I suppose you had an ex-county goalie ahead of you, and it was hard to get into that position. Were you playing well at training? Did they not pick you?
I suppose as Pat and Jackie alluded to, that they had to make decisions or whatever, that I was forced to play in the '89 final. Probably unfortunate for Tommy because Tommy was injured that year or whatever. That was a tremendous experience, even though we lost the Slashers. '92 was just the euphoria of winning it. Huge respect to Pat Hughes, Jackie Devine and John Smith especially, because John isn't here, and I wish John well in his recovery or whatever like that. I always remember John Smith saying something along the lines of, and I'll leave the expletives out, of Frank O'Hara was put forward for Connolly's, and he'd been transferred for him at the time, and he was saying he had the lorry done up down the Battery Road, and let's make sure he effing drives it home when it's dark. Words to that effect.
Yeah, that's right.
And just massive respect for these lads. We grew up together. We played several sports, not just GAA, but GAA is the binding twine between us all.
Behind you there is Bernard Connell. Bernard, you were free taker from Ostrom that year, and you were also one man of the match on the day. So, you know, talk to us a bit about it.
Yeah, well, the free taking came in, I don't know how the free taking came in. Christy was probably injured. You were just taking a few frees, Christy. And we're going back to the Brendan Doherty's chipped goal. Once Brendan chipped the goal, I knew the game was won. I remember it was under 14, Brendan, we played an under 14 match, and Brendan scored 11 goals. And I think he chipped the goalie in the maul. I think it was Shrine we played. You don't remember that, Brendan? I remember it well. He scored 11 goals, 11 fucking goals, you know. And he chipped the goalie in the maul. But once he was confident enough to chip the goalie, we had the game won. It was over. At the police at the time. But just getting back to people that was injured and people that couldn't play. Jerry got injured in the middle of it. We had Damien is here beside me and Jack, and we had a dream half back line at the time. Was Damien was in the middle, I was one side, and Jack Lynn was the other side. And Damien always refers to the dream half back line, and we had to split it up in '92 because the lads getting injured. You know, but sure, we had to move to different positions, but that was the way it went. Damien went and got injured himself. But no, it was great times and we had great crack. And I know people talk about commitment of players now, but there was a big commitment that time as well. You know, the times were different. You know, communication wasn't as easy. And we go back to John Smith again and Pat and Jackie. You know, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have won it either, really. You know, and we were probably forgetting about Father Sean that came down to us for the couple of championship matches, and maybe he just gave us that little bit extra that we were missing in other years. You know, we were always good enough, but we just couldn't make the final step maybe at times, and maybe Father Sean just did that for us, and we probably can thank Noel Green for that at the time. But that's just my memory. I don't have a lot of memory of the matches. I know on the Thursday night before the match, I pulled a calf muscle, kicking a free on the bottom of the pitch, and I just went home, and I was sitting at home, and I couldn't move my fucking leg, and I was saying, what am I going to do? And on the Saturday, still couldn't move, couldn't walk, and I rang a certain doctor in Longford, and I won't say his name, and he came down and he says, you better come down to me. And he gave me an injection in my arse, and he gave me an injection in the leg, and he says, come back to me an hour before the game. Probably not a lot of people probably know this, but I went back to him an hour on the way down to the match. I went into him in St. Joseph's again, and he gave me 2 more injections, and he said to me, I said to him, will I be able to play? He said, you'll be able to play all right. He says, after 5 minutes, he said, you'll be up and running and you'll be going. And I said, will I be able to play? He said, you will be able to play. He said, but you won't be able to walk for about 2 weeks after. I said, that's fine. But the dream half back line, Damien is there. Damien's after leaving us.
Jimmy Sweeney.
Damien. Damien, you were one of that dream half back line that time, Damien. You were in an unfortunate situation during the week before the county final, and I suppose it's a dread for anybody.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Oh yeah, the Wednesday night, I think it was the Wednesday night. No, it was actually Christy Kennedy was coming through with the ball.
Oh, Kennedy, that's all you want.
Yeah, that's what we were playing.
Well, look at it. All I have to say is, I was devastated to miss the county final, to be honest with you now. I was absolutely, you know, like, I'd always cover up a few things, but I was devastated. But like, quad game, boys made a few switches, we won the game, and I was absolutely delighted after it, lads. And one thing I just love now is this tonight. I swear to God. It's like a reunion now tonight, lads. And I think we should all take it, you know, wake up in the morning and say, oh, jeez, I met a good fucking lad there, you know, hadn't seen about 10 years. That's all I'm going to say anyway, so.
On that, Damien, just what you say, it'd be great for the young miners to see that, look, if they're stuck with it, this is what it's about.
Yeah, well, I was a selector last year, and I have, like, me and Jack were over and Michael Kinney, and I just think the future is minors and juveniles and whatever comes up. So there is a lot of potential there, lads, you know. And I honestly believe, like, we just said we'll take one step up one ladder this year, and we did. We made our quota this year, and we want to make another quota next year. I honestly believe if we keep doing that, we will get there, you know what I mean? Like, we will get there, lads. You know, so
Philly Green.
that's all I'm going to say. You
Thanks,
know?
David. Philly Green, you were one of the fringe players. I suppose you didn't get a start. They were going to bring 3 subs on at the time. You didn't get a start in the county final, but you put in as much effort as anybody else.
Yeah, I suppose those times too it was difficult to be a sub. As the lads alluded to there earlier, it was a good side, and I used to play more or less as a defender at that time, and we talked about the dream half-back line, and there was, you could put fellas in there, we had Bernie, Damien, Jack, you had the likes of Tony Garvey, Colin Garrett, and they were all good, hard, tough defenders, and I kind of was in as a defender as well, and those times it was, you know, if you were a defender, that's where you were a defender, you didn't play maybe as a forward, you weren't moved around as much those times. So for me, it was difficult to break in the side. It was nice to be part of it, and you know, I was always proud to be part of it for myself, but I suppose if it was nowadays, maybe a fella that could play in another position, you might have got in somewhere else, but that's life, you get on with it. But it was, my memory of the 92 championship was that, like, it was honoured to be part of it. Okay, I didn't have much of a contribution the whole year, but I was still there anyway, I'm sure that's on the record.
But for you, fella, you have a young lad coming up now, and a lot of the lads here still involved in the club have young lads, you know, under Raymond and your coaching. So there are plenty of young lads.
Oh yeah, there's great talent out there, and I have a young lad playing there, and there's lots of great lads coming on, and I'm involved there with the under 10s and kind of going with them now, you know, and it sort of has re-energised me, you know, my interest in football and that, and as long as those young lads are there, like, I'll be there going with them. That's my contribution to the Mustang team.
And Jack's young lad is another one, and girls are playing as well. Jack, you're a link, yourself and Damien are a link from the present team back to the 92 team. You're the manager, Damien's the selector, so you know that link is still there. How is it looking for this year? Do you want to talk about this year and maybe your memories of 92?
Yeah, well, this year going forward again, we kind of probably would have made a bit of progress last year, even though there's no silverware, but the way we played probably in the majority of games we would have improved. So hopefully we'll take a step forward again this year coming, and that's to be done in the field, I suppose. But 92, I suppose, looking back at that, I was young at the time, 19 at the time in that year itself, and I suppose you look around, you come into a team with a lot of established players, and the respect was there, which was a big thing for me, like, you know, as a young person coming out. It mightn't be as much nowadays because lads comes into a team now and they think they're Flash Harrys of the thing, and you know, and you just come in now, and I know Phil probably would be the same, and Raymond, you know.
Flash Harrys, yeah.
But I mean, at the time when we walked into it, like, I mean, we weren't brash. We looked up to the fellas that was over us, the likes of Mickey Harrell and them boys. Like, I mean, like any day you can take to a field with Mickey Harrell playing, which is a great day, because like Mickey is probably one of the best footballers the county's ever had. Never been able to, you know. So when you play along with them boys, it's a great privilege, and you stand back and listen and look at what they're doing, and you know, and. But it wasn't just that, it was the panel of players, there's great unity and management and all, and even go back to Sean Haggerty, he had a mean swing, by the way. Yeah, golf, yeah. But it takes everything to win a championship, though. You know, it takes everything. It takes a bit of bullish and a bit of effing and blind and this, that, and the other, and the whole lot, and a bit of luck as well. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it wasn't like what's, you know, you see Mullinyock winning this year, and they probably picked from 15, 16 players. Like we picked from, we used the panel in 92, you know, and that was a great thing to see, like, you know, and it's great to meet up tonight with every one of them, and you mightn't see them now I haven't seen a lot of lads now in 15, 20 years, and it's great to see it now. It's nice, you know, it's good to see it, you know, that's what it.
Thanks, Jack. Before we move on to John, who's the last man, just apologies from John Smith tonight, of course, from Eugene McGarr, Mel McGarr, and Martin Brennan, who were also very much part of the panel at the time.
John Green.
And John Green, sorry, as well. Sorry about that. John Coyle, you started off, you were a sub on the day, but you've gone on to much better things. You've represented Ireland this year, in fairness, you know.
Yeah, well, I was always
I probably started off, I probably wasn't as hardened as maybe Jacko and Raymond and the boys, but John Smith soon knocked a few bit of sense into me. Knocked a few corners off me. But look, for me, it's just looking around the room, it's the game. Like, family was a big thing for me. Like, I used to come to see the Hughes playing in Colin McGarry when I was that height. I think I stretched a little bit in semi-time. But it was important. The family was a big thing, bringing the games, and it's still that. Looking around the room, like, we have all the memories of all them training sessions, all the running, all the games we enjoyed, all the banter we had, all the crack. I can't remember the games, I just enjoyed the games, just enjoy getting out playing the game. A lot of the time people say, remember this? I said, I can't remember it, but just I remember when I was out there playing, it was great. Really enjoyed it. And I still enjoy it, and that's why I'm still playing.
Long way to continue, John. And it's great that everybody is here and great memories, and they're there for everybody to see. I think the last time it was done was back in 1999 for the 25th anniversary, 1974. And Seamus Smith did the interview that time, and unfortunately we've lost Seamus since. So we'll have these memories forever, lads, and it's very important to have them. Tom, did you like to say something?
On a sober note, on a very much more sober note, we all remember the late Kevin Hughes. And had he unfortunately met the untimely death, I'm sure we'd have 6 or 7 championships work with him. It was such a loss to us. At the 85 one, he was so influential in the 85 finals, in 10 matches against, particularly in the semi-final against Cashel, and in the 3 he ended in Ireland. And unfortunately, after that he was no longer with us, was no longer available, and I think that was one of our biggest losses in the club in my time. Kevin's untimely
Here. We thank John McGarr as well for doing the video. Fair play to John. He's a great man to have in the club, and he has memories of everything. Just if we give the final word there to the present chairman, he's looking in the back. We'll have a brief note from Sean Hannon, current chairman, and we'll finish with that. Thanks very much.
Well, there's not an awful lot more to be said other than go on and achieve something for the club. I think we have a good pool of players, and I think it's about getting their heads right and getting onto the job and put Brian Farr there, and maybe Seamus back again. He's probably playing more this year than he did before, and Kieran there, seeing them around the county, and that should lead the team on to better things. I think with the minors coming up, and we have a few, we're dogged with a part of British players that wasn't given commitment enough, and like, I think if we give the commitment from now on, especially when we have a few of the minors trying to make their way onto the team, that we definitely have a future, and a bright future, I'd say at that. Because it showed up in the league this year that where last year we didn't do that well in the league, but in 16 we did very well in the league, and we lost only a couple of games by a point, you know what I mean, two of the best teams in the championship. And then I think that the round robin thing that we were in last year didn't do us any favours, because we're doing that now playing against poor teams. And then when you met up with the bigger teams, then you thought maybe if you win with other games, you didn't win, you know what I mean, you weren't up to the speed of it when you came to the better teams.
Times are changing.
We won't be in that position this year,
no.
You know what I mean? And I also was very much against championship matches being played during the week on a Wednesday night.
Just to sum up on the future for Mostram, I suppose, on a night, we won't go into technicalities of anything, but it's a great night for Mostram.
Tonight was a great night for Mostram. I think it was a tremendous thing to bring down Brian Williams. I think that interview was a tremendous thing to have and look at again, and to encourage everyone to go on to better things. You know?
And to have this talking to all the lads here tonight, it was brilliant.
See everyone around the world again.
So once again, thanks very much, everybody.